Howdy there, YouTube. This is Kirby again. I'm playing, this is Game 6 of Pact Spanish Inquisition, PSI. It's a new day, so I'm going to throw a few more games up online. That way you guys can see even more. The entire intent with this entire series is to try and goldfish as many games as you can in a day. This is after my work. Put a few of these up on YouTube. Keep doing the same thing. Then in a week or two, I'll switch to a new combo deck, and then we will go from there. So, reviewed all the stuff that I put up on YouTube last night. Saw how crappy some of the hands and everything were. I'll try and fix that up with, when you can't see the hands because I've accidentally chopped the tops of them off, I'll try and put some subtitles and everything. That way you can see what the heck's going on in my hand. So for that, I apologize. But, no, this isn't anywhere close to my real job, although I wish it was. So, PSI. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of good and interesting stuff. So, first thing, I always look for my black sources. We have 2 cruel bargains, so we can start doing some pretty serious draw 4 chains. We have Elvish Spirit Guide, a Summoner's Pact, a Tinder Wall, and a Lotus Petal that will start off our initial Dark Ritual. First thing that I think about in all this is Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, and the Cruel Bargain. We have enough resources right here that we could almost... We could Summoner's Pact for Wild Cantor, Elvish Spirit Guide for Tinder Wall Sack, and then throw out the Wild Cantor to use any Culling the Weak that we find, and that would enable a second draw 4 chain. That's the first thing that comes to mind, and as I'm talking about it, that's probably the best choice. So, first thing, Lotus Petal for 0. That puts us at 1 storm. Sack it for the black mana for Dark Ritual. Second storm, 3 black mana. Unfortunately, we can't figure out a way to cruel bargain with 1 black opening, but like I said before, we've got options via Summoner's Pact to get up Wild Cantor and a red. So the Cantor could probably get us the necessary black mana should that happen. Only problem then is if we have the freaking Culling the Weak and a necessary need for an initial black mana source, that might be a problem. So, 3 black mana, we get 1 more storm, we're at 10 life, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Okay. Like I said before, now we need to get that initial black mana. So, what we can do is go through my entire way of saying. Then what we're going to do is go through everything. We have the option of Dark Ritual and the 1 red mana off of the Tinder Wall sack to go for Goblin Charbelcher and then Lion's Eye Diamond to activate. Pray to God that our 2 lands, which are still in the deck, somehow get us there, or we can do Dark Ritual into Infernal Contract, have 1 red floating, crack that probably for 3 black, and pray that we can get Infernal Contract going. Or Cruel Bargain, really. Anyway you slice it, it's going to be a gamble. In this case, Goblin Charbelcher is more a hindrance than a help, so we can't depend on it right now, and unfortunately we have to use the Lion's Eye Diamond to continue our live spell chain. So we're going to go all in on the Infernal Contract / Cruel Bargain thing. So, first Summoner's Pact, that gets you another Storm. And we grab Wild Cantor because we need the black mana out of this guy. Although this probably is the wrong place to cast that. Theoretically, we should do the old try and do everything with a Daze protection on it, which would really mean that we do Elvish Spirit Guide, remove that from the game, into Tinderwall rather than Summoner's Pact first. That way, when we sacrifice this for the necessary mana, we'll still have enough to pay for Summoner's Pact. But very few people are like, you know what? This is turn 1 of the game. I'm going to counter your Summoner's Pact. So, all in all, it's kind of a safe bet. Might be a slight misplay, but it's there. So, that should be 1 more Storm. We sacrifice that guy for 2 red. 1, 2. We use 1 of this red to play Wild Cantor, another Storm. At this point, it's also probably preferable to throw Lion's Eye Diamond. Another free Storm. Sacrifice Wild Cantor for 1 black. We use the 1 black for Dark Ritual. And gets us 3 black. This point, it doesn't really matter which one we use. Cruel Bargain because it's the more expensive one. And then we will crack Lion's Eye Diamond. That got me 1 additional Storm. So, I am down to 5 life. I have cracked Lion's Eye Diamond. We're going to go for triple black, which is kind of ironic because that is my favorite Smirnov thing, although apparently they no longer manufacture it, so that's that. We get 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and we are at 5 life. Okay. This is good, / bad, / good. We play Dryad Arbor. It's our first land for the turn. We immediately play Culling the Weak, sacrificing it. That is an additional Storm, and that gets us 4 mana. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. At this point, we have 1 land in the deck. We're going to die next turn to our Summoner's Pact. So we can either play Infernal Contract with 4 mana left over, because that 3 would be, this 3 would be used up, these 4 would be remaining. Or we can just blind activate. Since we'd be going from 5 to 2, and this would be the triple contract, really I think it's in our best interest to try the Infernal Contract. So that's what we're going to do. 3 mana, one Infernal Contract, use yet another Storm. We are at 2 life and we get 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And wow, okay. So, we play Land Grant because it's free. Another Storm. But we cannot use this Bayou. We've already played our land for turn. The reason why I'm doing this is partially for deck thinning. But really, I think everything that I've done, as cool as this has been, this is going to be another fizzle. Because at this point, we can't get rid of our hand to try and make this work. We don't have enough mana to get Charbelcher up and running. We can't lay another land. Summoner's Pact can get us nothing of import. And we only have 4 mana. So, ultimately, I think this one was a giant bust. If I hadn't played that land grant, I probably would have showed you exactly how much time, or how much in my library the blind Charbelcher activation would have done. And maybe that would have vindicated that line of play. But ultimately, I think drawing the cards would have had a better likelihood of killing the person. Especially considering it is quite literally make or break because of the Summoner's Pact. Some of the veteran pilots of Spanish Inquisition might have been able to pull this win out, especially considering I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 12 Storm at that point. It's kind of a shame when you do all that really cool stuff and you showboat, and then all of a sudden you die anyway, not because your opponent's done something really cool, but because they just have to wait till your next upkeep. It's one of the problems with this deck. The reason why this deck isn't more popular than Belcher is because of its inconsistency issues. Partially pilot skill, but in this case, I think this was the deck's fault. I might have had a chance with that blind activation, but ultimately we won't really find out because I was an idiot enough to play the blind land grant, which sure it upped my Storm, but I should have been able to look at what I had in my hand and realized I couldn't have won anyway. That's an important thing to look at with this deck, is trying to understand why you failed. Because for the most part, it's not going to be your opponent that is going to be the one that failed you. It's going to be due to random inconsistencies, to which once you have proper deck construction, you can't really do anything more on that. Then after that, it's wrong instincts / wrong math. There may be some super geniuses that can do the math on everything that goes on with this deck, but for the most part, you just play and play and play with this deck until it becomes second nature and your instincts go forward rather than a formal 52% increase on one line of play versus another. So, it's part of the reason why I'm doing this. One, I'm pretty sure if you guys show me how I royally foobarred some of this stuff up, I'm willing to bet the shame of you guys showing me how I was wrong will implant a little bit more of this stuff into my head. Then there's also the fact that while I'm teaching you, this is forcing me to examine everything that I do with this deck from a new person's point of view and making sure that I'm right, which is ultimately the reason why I'm doing this. To teach you and to teach myself. Unfortunately, this is fizzle number 2 out of 6 games. Well, about to go to game 7.